I'm so old that I played in the Nissan LA Open and the Northern Trust. Okay.
Did you ever feel this might be a question that some young junior golfers wanting to play college golf? Now obviously you were super highly ranked in the nation, so you didn't really have to do too much as far as like getting yourself known.
Yeah.
But how did you feel pressure when college coaches came out to watch you play? Did you have any struggles there? Or were you just able to kind of just stay total game John?
No, I did. Like I knew they were coming, or like I knew they were there. And if I did make a bogey, yeah, I'm not gonna say I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? But knowing what I know now, if I could tell my younger self, I'd tell, hey, dummy, they're just looking to see how you react after you make a bogey. They know you can make birdies, right? They're not worried about the good stuff. And I tell any junior that, hey, don't worry about it. If they're out there watching you, they're already interested in you. And they're really looking to see how you react to situations. And that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, we all know golf reveals more about who we really are than any other game you'll ever play.
Yeah, right.
Nothing you can hide behind. It's just you. It's just you.
It's just you, baby. So it's just you.
That's pretty cool. So let's move on to you turned professional. When and why did you decide to turn professional?
Here's something. I turned pro. It probably wasn't under the best situation, honestly, and I'll be candid about it. Here's the other thing you kids want to know about going to college. Know what the coach is and who the coach is, because you're in a relationship with that person. I didn't fully know my coach, and I left not on good terms in terms of I had enough of him. I didn't want to sit out another year in redshirt. It wasn't in my future. And I knew what I wanted to do in life. And I wouldn't say that this would be, and this is just being honest. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't recommend this, but I knew what I wanted and I knew who I was. So I went and chased the ball around the tour, and I went around for 10 years. I got to see the world chasing this little thing around, which was pretty cool. But I also knew that when I was dating my wife at the time, who was my girlfriend, I had told her, I said, look, I'll do this for 10 years. And if I don't have my tour card at the end of 10 years, I know that I'll be coaching, because I love doing that. So I sort of had a very distinct idea of what I was going to be doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's when I decided to turn pro, honestly, after my sophomore year. After regionals, I decided to go pro and go chase the ball around.
Very cool, very cool. What advice would you give a young man or a young woman that wants to play professionally?
I would say that, number one, you better have time management skills. You got to know, and you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest in the sense of you got to know what you're good at, what you're not good at, so that you can work on those parts that you're not good at. I see a lot of people sort of, oh, I'm good at this and good at that, and I'll look at it from an analytical standpoint and be like, no, that's not going to cut it. You know what I mean? If you putt it good but only hit it 240 off the tee, and you're trying to think you're going to play professional golf on the men's tour, not going to happen. Okay, so being very honest with yourself, and because it's a business and it's a lot of expense, guys and girls. It's a lot of expense. You're looking at $70,000 minimum to travel and try to, like, if you had no status, I'm talking about. If you had no status and you're trying to play the Corn Ferry Tour and do Monday qualifiers on the PGA, or play any of the mini tours that have an established schedule, you're looking at like $70,000 realistically. I mean, that's a lot of money. I rode it. For me, I rode mine. I put it on a credit card. I had a sponsor for a little while that helped me out, but most of it was, I put it on a credit card and let it ride. So
there's pressure for you.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I won two events. I won two events on the Spanish tour in like January, and they both paid about 18,000. I had 36,000 in the account at the end of January from those winning. But I had to pay out. I already had to pay for tournaments in advance, and they're like 12 to 1,400 bucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So say you don't win, and which I didn't, say the following month, and now you got to go shell out another 4,000 in entries before you ever teed up, and that's before your hotel, your rental car, your food, your instructions, and all that stuff. So it's an expensive proposition if you're going to turn pro. You got to know that first. If you're in college and say you finish, my advice to you is this: if you're going to turn pro, don't turn pro until you're playing well. Don't just turn pro thinking it's going to answer any questions of like your golf game or it's going to make you any better. So that I would definitely, if you've already finished college, wait till you're playing well to turn pro.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Got a question here because it's on my list of questions. So it says, John, you made it to some, sorry, I don't have my reading glasses, some PGA
Tour events.
Yeah. So
what was your most memorable moment in your playing career?
Yeah. Share.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for asking that. I would say it was, I Monday qualified into, what event is that now? Tigers tournament at Riviera. What do they call it now? The
Genesis.
Genesis. Yeah.
We can call it the LA Open. Old school.
I'm so old that I played in the Nissan LA Open and the Northern Trust. Okay. Both which are Riviera. So the first year that I made it, I was playing professionally now for about a year and a half or so. On Monday in, I shot 63 at Los Serranos, and I got in the event, and the opening round, I was a little nervous to say, and I went out and I shot 84. I believe it was 84 I shot in the first round. And then the next day I shot 67 with 2 double bogeys. So wow. I think that 67 was probably the most memorable. And what made it even more memorable that week was at the end of that 67, I'm up in the players parking lot, and not many people know this. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting to get my rental, or not my rental, I'm waiting to get my car from the valet. So I'm standing there and I've got a bunch of my clubs that I took out of my locker, and all the swag that you would take because you're in a tournament and you don't have status. So I got all my swag and I'm holding it like this, and Billy Andre stands right next to me, right? And I kind of look at him and I'm like, oh, I know who that is, right? And he hands me his parking ticket and goes, can you get me my car? He thought I was a valet guy.
That's classic. I was going to ask you to share that story. That's just hilarious.
Yeah. And I said, Mr. Andre, with all due respect, I'm actually a player. And he turned so red so fast, he puts his hand in his face, and he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, that was my Billy Andre waiting. And that same event, I got stopped going to the 4th tee box in the first round. I had a security guard stop me, and he goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm trying to walk up to the tee box. He goes, the gallery walks outside the ropes, right? And I go, I'm the player. He goes, well, I need to see some identification. I go, dude, I'm in the middle of my round. I go, there's my staff bag up there. They're waiting for me. So yeah, that was it was a memorable week, right?
Sure, that's hilarious. And
yeah.
You qualified twice for that, didn't you?
Yeah, I qualified twice for it. Yeah. The second year I played in it was the year Adam Scott won, but it was a 36-hole event. And it was,
I was there.
Yeah. Like, I think we saw Noah's Ark going down the fairway.
For sure.
It was raining so hard. So it was dumping really hard. And I remember I shot 72 in the opening round. I was inside the cut line. And the afternoon, like my second round took like 2.5 days to play. And I missed the cut there. But what I remember about that was this. I remember on Sunday I went to church because my friend had told me that if they don't get 36 holes in, the entire purse is chopped up for all the players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, oh, dude, I could get it. Like, it was like a $12,000 check. You know what
Heck
I
yeah.
mean? And I was in church praying. Man, they got that in. It was so BS. They should have never played that round, but they did.
Yeah, that was messy.
Yeah, that was messy to say the least. Yeah. Oh God. There was a
Yeah,
couple of questions here in the question box here. Let me
yeah,
see what they're saying. Let's see. Imagine what. Take advantage of Bad Social Levitt coming together, guys. Yeah, exactly. That was from Magic Money. Thanks, Magic Money. Yeah, we're, this whole thing just happened. We're trying to make the best out of a bad situation and learn from all these other coaches. Like Dan's got some great stuff that we'll have him on the show. Dan's been a top 100 teacher, and I learned a lot from him. So we're all learning from each other. It's a great. I was if anybody's been, I've never been, but at the PGA show, they've got the open forum and all the different deals. Somebody was saying that like all our shows are really like an open forum, but you actually get to ask more questions and be more interactive with the guests.
yeah.
And I appreciate that. The other thing, I did this because I want to learn. I keep learning. The only thing I wish I could do, it just doesn't look very professional if I do it, but like I want to stop and like when somebody says something, I want to take like hang on, whoa. I want to take notes.
I'll write that down. Well, that's why it's on YouTube.
Well, exactly. That's why now it's on YouTube. That was the real motive behind it, was to save all the great lessons that these people are giving and save it onto YouTube so I can go watch it. There was let's see here. Was that U.S. Open at North French, your last event? I think you told me that when we played. You know what? I think it was my last event. I kind of my back. No, I take that back. That wasn't my last event. Was at Q School in I don't even remember, 2006 maybe. My back had finally gone out on me, and I just couldn't get out. Like each day, I had to have my caddy come and roll me out of bed, and I had a back that just wouldn't it wouldn't loosen up. It was basically spasms. And I went straight from the hotel in Texas there, and I flew back to LA, and I went right into one of those tubes, and they couldn't even straighten me out. And they had said they were taking the MRIs and stuff, and I got the answers that night because it was a friend of mine that owned the place. And he goes, "You're fine." I go, "I don't know how I'm fine, and I can't even stand up." So we kind of went through a bunch of things like that, and it just basically it was getting worn out, and that's when I called it quits and started teaching. Yeah. Magic Money, yeah, back issues. That's the one thing I remember Kobe saying. If he was going to tell his younger self something about what he knew, and he had said the first thing without even thinking, he said flexibility, stretch, and that's I'd be telling myself that.
Yeah, you gotta keep yourself mobile. It's so important. So it's so easy. It's easy to get motivated to like work out to some degree and to get stronger, but sometimes it's very difficult to do. Some of the hardest things you do, and when fitness is actually to like stretch and learn to stretch because it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So anything I know about you though, John, is like you seek to not be comfortable, which I think is good, and maybe that might have been a key in changing your playing career too. Is like if you could get a little more uncomfortable, do you think that would have made a bigger difference in the way you played?
Yeah, for sure. Just like accepting the fact of like uncomfortable is the same feeling as being comfortable, really, in a way. Just, you know what I mean? It's a fleeting moment, and we don't have to make it as big a deal as it really is.
Right.
Yeah, and to the point of, if you guys want to shoot low rounds, I'll tell you this much right now: keep running and stepping on the gas harder. So I was more known for like, I was like Ricky Bobby. If I wasn't first, I was last. There wasn't many like, oh wow, he had a nice week. He finished like ninth. But it wasn't that. It was either I won or I came in last, or I missed the cut. And the thing I always felt like with low rounds, and I've been shooting. I set my first course record, I think, when I was 15 years old at the Aviara was the first place I set a course record. When you have it going low, just like that instance doesn't happen that often when you're really clicking, and
Mm-hmm.
just be like, dude, I'm just going to go fire at everything now. Because I'm swinging good. Like, I don't have this moment very often, and like,
Mm-hmm.
might as well take advantage of that moment. So when you guys are going and you get off to a good start and you're, say, 400 par through 5 holes, dude, just keep flooring it. You know what I mean? Just keep flooring it. So
Yeah, you want to have that's a special memory that's possibly unfolding for sure. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
Brady Riggs and something I heard from it was a long time, this is before I even knew Brady. I think he was talking about Brandon Hagee in particular, but he says, yeah, I'm way more interested in players that might shoot 85, 65 than I am a guy that can shoot a bunch of 74s and 73s.
yeah,
I say, oh, that always struck a chord with me. It's like, wow, because there's a very unique skill in being able to go low and to ride the flow state.
yeah,
Most of us get in our own way. We're in it and we're like, oh crap, what's happening? And then you're out.
yeah,
You can't get back in.
yeah,
I think that's a really cool thing. I think there's a characteristic. I've been doing some reading on flow actually from Rick Sessinghaus, one of your
yeah.
and yeah, just that state is so powerful, and we need to learn more about it and learn how to get into it. But yeah, but yeah, being afraid of it is the easiest way to get away, is to get out of it. But if something new like that shows up, then wow, what do you do? But I think
Right.
seeking to be uncomfortable, much like you've talked about, one of the things that I always admire you for, you're always looking to be uncomfortable in business too,
Yeah.
and other things we do besides just golf. It gives you the opportunity to experience something and grow one way or the other. Even if you fall on your face, you grow, and you might open the door to something really special as well.
Anything I've ever done that's been worth anything. I've been uncomfortable, and just understand the fact that if you want to make any changes, you better embrace being uncomfortable,
Yeah,
because
it's
that's
good.
the one thing you're gonna feel.
Yeah,
Whether,
yeah,
like you said, whether it's business or personal stuff, um, relationships, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not doing anything.
that's right. Yeah, fear, and worry and stuff like that. That can be a gateway to really good performance, as long as you embrace that. That's a good thing. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Chris, there were some comments here. Chris, now he has bad credit. You know what? I never had bad credit, and I did. And I see here, Aaron Smith said, or when you paid off, you have really good credit. Yeah, I have really good credit. My wife, thankfully, she's an accountant, and when I quit playing, I think I had somewhere in like the $25,000 to $30,000 in debt. I did, and I had that paid off in about a year. Thanks to my wife. Yeah, thanks to my wife. Is yoga a good exercise to help with Magali? Yes, absolutely. Look at Dan.
100%.
Yeah, look at Dan. Bob, man, yeah, but 467 wins, 63 is 74 is not. Depends. Just kidding. No, it's all good, Chris. Did you play in the Nationwide Tour? I did. I Monday qualified into a bunch of events. I think I played maybe 12 events out there. And morning, Dana. Yeah, so I played, I think, about 12 events on the Nationwide Tour, just Monday and around. And I never did good at Q School, but Monday qualifiers, I don't know. I seem to be okay doing that.
Awesome. So kind of fast forwarding here now, we're out of your kind of playing career. You've obviously got an injury. It's time to kind of hang it up. Coaching, who are your biggest coaching influences?
I tell you who helped me as a young teacher was a guy that just came in, Dana Dahlquist. I went to him and I said, I'm a young teacher. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Like, what do I need to get for education? Dana's advice to me at the time was go to Mac O'Grady first if you can get in. So Don Brown helped me get in with Don Brown helped me get in with Mac. I was in with Mac for about a year and a half, and then got kicked out. Right? Well, I'd love to do a kicked out by Mac live thing with everybody here that's been Mac. I think it'd be hilarious.
But you can just keep dinging people in and sharing their stories, huh?
Yeah. so I think it'd be pretty funny. But then at the time he said, okay, then go seek out Andy Plummer, Mike Bennett. I went that route. And then after that, then I started branching out and I started learning from anybody and everybody. And I still learn to this day. Greg McCatton, God, Scott Hamilton. Who I'm going to leave off a bunch of guys, but I can tell you that there's a million people that I've learned from.
Everybody that you've interviewed so far.
Yeah, pretty much everybody I've interviewed, I've learned from, and I continue to learn. And that's the great thing about this game. I don't think anybody has all the answers yet. I think some people are obviously closer, but I think there's so many ways to individually express yourself in this game that it's difficult to have all the answers. You know, every time I see like, oh, well, this and this, if the person does this, then I get this freaking outlier that like defeats the purpose. I'm like, no, you know, so with that, I'm always open-minded about things, and everybody, I think you can learn literally from everybody, and I want to learn from everybody and just kind of put the pieces together.
For sure.
So
well,
yeah,
you've done a great job of it. You've helped me with my golf swing quite a bit, and over the past year or so, and I just I think that you're on your way to being one of the greatest teachers in the nation. So I'm certainly this platform's not hurting you getting your name out there either. But you do have a wealth of knowledge. You always seem to have a drill or an answer and a very, very simple explanation. So you know, if you haven't worked with John and you're looking for a coach, you know, John is he's up there in my book for sure, and I would highly recommend him.
Well, that stuff is just simply, it's all passed down from the stuff that I learned from everybody. I never come up with an original thing in my life, but you know, I think as a teacher, I think I'm decent at like giving the right drills to people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And sure. That just knowing what tool to use and stuff like that. So, Aaron Smith, we'll see you over there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. John's very good at like understanding a problem quickly, knowing what the player wants. I think that's super important. I think that's a hallmark of a really good good teacher. But John's good with all levels too. I've seen him give lessons to elite players, but I've also seen him give lessons to our insurance agent in particular, most recently, who, I mean, he's okay, but I mean, yeah, bit handicapper. But that lesson was you just very creative in the way you attacked it, and you know, he got it quickly. So it was really a testament to how much you've learned and how much experience you have. And what I love about you, John, is that it's like, oh, I don't have it. You just keep wanting more and wanting more and wanting more, and that is the hallmark of a great teacher. You just never stop learning, and it just your ability to see things just clearer and clearer and clearer.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I really do.
So honored to know you and live so close to where you work.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. So
we're running up on the hour mark. Do you want to cut it here? Or do you want to extend?
Yeah, we can cut it here, man. I don't want to bother anybody else. I need to. Hopefully our food, or I hope everybody. Number one, I hope everybody is safe. Number one, and I appreciate you guys listening. And with Dan and
how
I.
How old are you? You got to answer the question.
Oh,
today.
I'm 40 years old. So yeah.
Very young
for those of you that were playing our little game. Of 40 years old. So I don't feel 40. I've got the dad bod to prove it though. But it's I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But I'm really thankful for you, Dan, number one, for our friendship, but for you doing this. I get some people really, they were requesting something because they didn't know who the hell I was, and that's all cool with me. I've lived my whole life that way, but
yeah, John's the most humble person I know. He just
but I hope everybody's safe, number one. Myself and coaches like Dan, we're always trying to get creative and find ways to help people out. So we hope you guys just really at the end of the day are safe, and we hope that we can help you in any way we can. Today at 12 o'clock, I'm going to be doing, and hopefully Dan, you can chime in. We're going to bring players in live, just like, switch them out, have teachers, and just have a nice, fun conversation about, how we can maybe help you out with your swings.
I'll be there for sure. So hope you all tune in.
So I appreciate it, Dan.
All right, John, take care, man. I'll see you later.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody, the JRL Golf Academy. Please make sure to link and comment down below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that little bell for notifications. And we look forward to seeing you on the next JRL Golf Academy.